Hi everyone, welcome to the latest podcast for third year students in ECE in Section A. We are going to be covering the weeks of October 2nd and October 9th. But before we do that, let me just give you some important reminders about these podcasts. The first thing is that if you are taking any general education courses this semester, you're going to have to plug in all the schoolwork for those into your agenda or your calendar or assignment list or whatever tool it is that you're using to organize yourself, because I don't know about those classes, so you have to take responsibility for that information. Also, I cannot guarantee that I have all the information about assignments and schoolwork for your ECE classes for any given podcast. So you'll have to maybe keep track of other assignments that I don't have any information about. And as always, if there are any discrepancies between what I'm saying in the podcast and what you think your teacher is saying in class, then always double check. That's the best way to proceed. All right, so last time in the last podcast, I invited you to contact me with any tips or resources that you have and that you found useful for staying organizing and managing your time, and then promised you that you would become a podcast star. Well, this week we have a shout out to Catherine Fortin, who is one of your fellow ECE students. She turned me on to this great website, thecosmicroad.com. And it was created in 2016 by a student from Australia. It's got lots of great information to help you stay organized, to help you manage your time, to help you stay motivated as well, and also specific resources for things related to school. So for example, she's got a whole bunch of information there about studying for final exams, and that might be handy for midterms as well. How to write presentations, which I know is going to be useful, seeing as you will have presentations coming up. And then also what she calls on the website printables, which are blank sheets like this, and there's other models as well. This one here, you could write all your assignments for any given semester, and that would be a really, really good way of keeping track of everything in one place. So thank you, Catherine, for that great tip, thecosmicroad.com. All right, so if you have not already done so, go and get your agenda or your calendar or take out your phone, however it is that you are organizing yourself, and let's talk assignments. I've got information in this podcast on two of your courses, your movement and music course and the creativity course. So here is your week. You'll notice that there is a turkey here on Monday, October 9th. That is Thanksgiving. There is no school that day, but there is no change to the schedule for the rest of the week of October 9th. So everything is as normal there. All right, so in terms of your movement and music class, the first thing I'd like to highlight is that on Monday, you will be observing the children from the lab as they play in the outdoor space, and that will help you prepare for at least one of your upcoming assignments. Also, very exciting, on October 5th, the Thursday, you will have your midterm review, which is worth 10% of your final grade. And Kathy has passed on some tips for preparing for that midterm review. So first of all, read, hopefully you've already read them, and it's just a review of the 4 chapters from the textbook. Make sure you know the elements, the music elements. That's things like tempo, pitch, that whole list of music elements. Also, you will want to know the contents or components of a movement program. That's information that you've gone over in class. And this is insider information that I picked up from Kathy. She says, check the PowerPoints. So you will want to check the PowerPoints. Not saying that's everything that's going to be on the test, but that's an insider tip from Kathy. All right, so then in the week of October 9th, you will have a special guest for your movement and music class on the 11th of October, and that will take place during the language and literacy class. So what that means is that the next time you will meet for language and literacy, that class will continue into the movement and music time slot. And so there is another switcheroo there between the two of Kathy's classes that you have with her. So then now let's look at the creativity course. The first thing I want to highlight for you there is that on Monday, Kathy will be away and Tally Goodfriend will come in and lead the class, and the topic will be blocks to creativity. Kathy reminds you to print out the in-class assignment before you come on Monday. Bring that with you, and you will be working on that in class on Monday. Then on Thursday of next week, on the 5th, there will be a guest speaker in the creativity class, so that's interesting. But also bring in your portfolio that day, and your creative project proposal is due. That is worth 5% of your final grade. And Kathy says, don't forget beyond the portfolio. I have no idea what that means, but apparently you do. All right, so that's it for those two courses. As I said at the top of this podcast, there may be other assignments and schoolwork in your other classes, but I haven't received that information in time to make it into this podcast, so keep track of that. Going forward with these podcasts, I thought something fun that we could do would be to personalize them a little bit more and maybe come up with a fun name for your section. Section A, kind of boring. Maybe something along these lines would appeal to you guys. Section A, how you doing? That could be fun. But maybe that's lame. So if you have any better ideas, send those along to me. As always, post your comments on YouTube after you've viewed the podcast. Remember that there is a full transcript available by clicking on transcript under the video. And stay tuned for the next announcement, because that will mean that there is a new podcast available for you. That's it for me. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks. Bye.